So we continue. Now we will create a small script for account registration. But first, let's go into the Project Maker settings and specify the key for captcha solving. I remind you that when you purchase a license for the poster, an account is automatically created for you in the CapMonster cloud service and credited with $5. To use it, you need to enter the secret key. To do this, click on Get Account. Click Login and enter the details of your Zenalab account. Solve the captcha and copy the key. Paste it into Project Maker. It showed us the balance, which means we did everything correctly. It is worth noting that when you specify a key from any service, for example in Project Maker, it is simultaneously inserted into Zona Poster as well. That is, when you insert a service key in one of the programs, it is automatically inserted into the second program as well. To apply the settings, as noted here, you need to restart Project Maker, which we will do now. Project Maker has restarted. Next, we open our project. And I suggest creating a small script for registering Wikipedia accounts. To do this, go to the Action Properties and replace the link. We restart our project. The required site opened in the Browser tab. Next, to start the registration, you need to click the Create Account button. To perform any action with an element, we need to hover over it with the mouse, right-click, and select the Action Builder. A menu will open for linking the action to the element. It is worth noting that the entire page, as well as each of its elements, is essentially code. Our task is to use this menu to link the action to such an element code that will remain unique and static, meaning it will not change, and will be unique compared to other elements. For example, the value Create Account applies to two elements, as we can see, to the entire page, for some reason, and to our button. If we, for instance, select just one letter, then we already have 20 elements or more. I will explain why this is important, because the program might miss, and some element on the site might be removed. Some might be added, and the structure of this numbering, by the way, numbering starts from 0 because in programming, indexing starts from 0, or it might be disrupted. And so, let's say you choose 10, but one element with this letter C is removed, and it will already be the 9th, and the program will still refer to the 10th element, and therefore will cause errors. For example, you also want to link to the element 6,976,895. We press the action constructor, and it links to the numerical value of this element. And in the future, when there are already 7 million here, the program will produce an error. Therefore, it is always worth turning off the red button, Automatic Action Recording, because sometimes the Product Maker program links to the wrong element code and will produce errors in the future. Here, for example, let's link to a static value of this number. For this, we go to the element's properties, update them, and here all the attributes of this element are displayed. We can, for instance, link to ref, outer HTML, or title. Let's link to href. To do this, we change the attribute here and can use it as its whole value. Here we have two elements, or a piece of it. For example, special statistics. Let's do it. Well, it still gives us two parts. This is not always critical. For example, when it gives us two elements, we can, in principle, use indexing. We know that the structure here will not change. And we choose, for example, the number 1, and that's it. We will have a link to the element we need. But it's important to remember that you should strive to select a unique element value. Let's choose the value talk. And we see that it will always be unique. There is no other element with the same attribute value of inner text with the value talk.